How you guys doing? Jude Currier from Parent Coach Family Counseling. Out in the backyard today, cut some grass. Wanted to talk today about failure to launch kids. For reference, failure to launch kid is an adult child of parents that is typically living at home. They may have dropped out of college. They may have not gone to college. They aren't working. They're kind of not functional, right? So they're not meeting their own needs, and they're not providing any kind of reciprocal nurturing for the family that's caring for them, for their parents. So these are, like I said, kids are probably in the basement a lot. They're not out working, or they're underemployed. If they're employed, they're not paying rent or helping around the house. They're not helping parents, with chores or with cleaning up after themselves. A lot of times, these kids are really, when I say kids, I really mean young adults. I'm 62, so everybody's a kid to me. They're really, they're not functioning, and they're a net suck on the system in which they live. So I'll get calls, and over my career, I've gotten dozens of these calls from parents saying, "Can you help my son or my daughter? They haven't, they dropped out of college. They got overwhelmed. They flunked out. They, now they're depressed and they can't work, and they're sleeping all day, and they're playing video games, and So what I learned in working with young adults in this state is that they're often minimally motivated to do any work to get out of it. And it's not, they may or may not be kind of purposely parasitic, for lack of a better term. But the bottom line is they're too comfortable, that their life works pretty well, food, shelter, clothing. And if they don't have to put into it because their parents let them, they may complain a lot about it, and they may nudge them, and they may talk to them, and they may cajole them, but they don't require them to do anything different. So that's problematic. And I've noticed that kids typically, they don't want or can't do the work of getting out of their own way, to dislodge themselves from that situation. So what I started doing when I would get those calls, I started telling parents, yeah, I don't think therapy is going to be helpful for your child, but I do think therapy would be helpful for you. So I'd be happy to work with you to help you dislodge your child from this situation, to help them be more functional, to help them realize their own capacity by making some minimal requirements and setting some minimal boundaries. And parents often would find that really difficult, which is part and parcel of why it ended up the way it did anyway. And I've done a number of these, worked with a number of these families over the years, and sometimes it's successful, and sometimes it's not. Parents have too much of a hard time holding their child accountable, or watching their child suffer or struggle. But there is a lot we can do. And to be clear, it's not that the child has to be up and then leave the house. A child can be part of a family and be reciprocally nurturing within that family, living with their parents, right, to whatever age, as long as they're part of how the house runs, as long as they're providing care to their parents or help to their parents, and that they're not just kind of a drain on the system. If you want to learn more about that, please check out the website, parentcoach.org. I have a page for failure to launch kids, and I do work with families like that. Parentcoach.org. Also, please leave a message, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel. That'd be cool. All right, take care of yourselves.